Hi guys, today I'll show how we can provision a Linux and a Windows server using Amazon Web Service. Here we'll be using Amazon Web Service as a platform as service. So literally like we are going to create a two host which is going to behave like a normal on-premises server. So let's get started. The basic things you want to have an Amazon Web Service account. Once you have an Amazon Web Service account, you can go for the services. You can see a lot of services available here. Like to get started, the first thing we need to have to provision, we'll create an VPC which will provide cloud. Just I'm going to create my VPC in my North Virginia. It's already my VPC is there. So I'm going to create a new. I'll show you from the start like how to create a new VPC. So let's change my location. VPC is specific to your availability zone. So there are various availability zones in Amazon Web Services. Currently I'm in Sydney. Like I'm going to use, for this demo purpose, I'm going to use a Singapore availability zone. I'll be creating all my services everything in Singapore data center. Singapore VPC. No. So go to services. First we will be going to VPC. Default there will be one VPCs for on all the availability zone. There will be default one VPC will be running, and we are not going to touch or disturb anything with that VPC. We are going to create our own VPC, and we will be hosting the server in our VPCs. So let's get started. We can give any name we want. I'm giving this my VPC. My VPC, my IP addresses will be like a 10.0.0 and like 10.0.0.0/16 default. Let's create. Here I have created my VPC now. When I create my VPC default, there will be a subnets. If I go to for a subnets, there will be a one subnet. There is no subnets creations, but there will be, if I go for an route tables with the my VPC, you can see one route table has been created. So now the next thing, after creation of VPC, the next thing we are going to create is we need to have an internet gateway, so that the server hosted on our VPC will have access to the internet. So create a gateway. I call it as my internet gateway is create. My internet gateway is created. I need to attach to the VPC default. You can see the VPC is there, only one. So now we have attached to the VPC. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to create a subnet. So just create a subnet. I'm going to call this subnet as my public subnet, and the CIDR block will be something like 10.0.0. Let's take .0. This is going to be my public subnet. okay, a public subnet is created. I'm going to make sure automatically a public IP is assigned to when any EC2 instance are invoked with this subnet. Automatically a public IP address will be and coming back to now route tables, like we are going to create a new route table. We call it as my public route. Okay, it's going to be as create my VPC. I've created my public route. If you go for a route, it is going to use a local one, so just edit, add another rule, like you say o anything from local on this public IP. Use internet gateway and the subnet associations you can edit, and you can say that associate my public subnet with this routing table. And I've created one public subnet. I need to create one more subnet, like my private subnet. My private subnet, it's going to be on a VPC, and the CIDR block I'm going to extend by the 20.24 is create. So you can see, like, I've created two subnets. One is a public subnet, another one is a private subnet, and the public subnet's IP it will be having a 10.0.10.0. We have around 251 IP addresses, and here we have around 251 for my private one. You can see the VPC associated with this subnet is my VPC, and let me cover about the network ACL. And the route table here it is associated with my public route table. If I check with my private, it will go with the default route table. If you click on this, yes, it's my default route table. Subnet associations, edit. Just I'm going to associate with my default one, only my private subnet. So what I've done is, technically I've created a one route table, public route table, which has a internet gateway access, whereas the default one usually this is the default one. This is the one which we have created for our associated with our IP address route table. We can see there is no internet is associated with it. And coming to VPC, the another things people should be aware is something called as a DHCP option sets. If you have your DNS name registered, then you can use this one. You can give your name server under domain names, but we are not going to use this option as of now. I'll say the alternate way, like how we can make use of this DHCP. Cancel it. And coming back to network ACL, if you see the network ACLs, default way a network ACL has been created when we created them under two subnet associated. Inbound rule, you can see it is allowing all the outbound rules, also all subnet associations. This two subnet and whatever the two subnet we have created, it's a default, and I'm not going to touch anything with the ACLs. And the security groups, you can see now currently it is my VPC security group. Inbound rule all traffic it allows, outbound rule also it allows all traffic, and I'm not going to change anything with this. So now VPC part is done. We'll be now provisioning our first EC2 instance. Just click onto the EC2 service. So there are 0 running instances. If you go there are no instances are there, we can launch an instance. Just I want to see only free tier. That is Amazon images. Here let me go with default Amazon image. I need to be in 82 tiers. There are various kinds of EC2 instances are available. Some are like memory specific, like you can see M4X large. It has like a 64 GB of memory with the iCPU. But I'm going with for this demo I'll be provisioning a free tier. Let's configure instance details. This is default, like I'm going to invoke this EC2 instance in my VPC, private VPC, and default is going for a public subnet. Yes, I want to do it public subnet. Auto in public IP address. Yes, I'm going to auto assign a public assign. I didn't create any IAM role, like here if I want to say about IAM role, if you want, even this EC2 instance should have permission to call a S3 service or any other services in Amazon. We can specify, you can create a role and you can assign the role while in creating the EC2 instance, but we are not going to use anything with this one. Just I'm going to all with the default value. This is my new network interface. Add storage, I'm going to do with the add storage. Add tag, this the name I'm going to give is like something my Linux. Next to configure security group. You can see create a new security groups that are existing. I'm going to create a new security group. This is, I'm calling as a Linux security group. Description you can give as my Linux security group, something like that. And I'm going to add a rule for a time being. You can restrict like whether the SSH default, the SSH port will be open. If you want to open your ICMP for to enable the ping services, or if you want to open HTTP, you can specify. Your options is to restrict and open the things. But like for a time being, I'm going with all traffic. It means I don't. It's a open. Oh, it's like add rule review on launch. It says your instance security or security is open to the world. Yes. Anyway, I'm going to terminate it after this demo, so I'll create a new key pair. My key pair, like I'm going to create a new key pair. Just make sure that I'm not having any keys. My Linux, my Windows, temps, all these keys as I don't want. So I'm going to give it as a my key Linux. Download the key pair. So once you downloaded, when you are using in a putty, you need to go to putty keygen. We can't use it directly with the PEM file, so you need to go for the putty. You need to load your PEM file here. Downloads all files. My key Linux PEM, open. Okay, and you can say this as a private key. Yes, my private key is going to be myKeyLinux dot prem. Okay, download keypad, launch instance. You watch launch. View instances. If you want to see go for your networking, you can see the email instance setting, get system log, my Linux image. It's going to create my Linux image. You can see my Linux image, it is getting created. This is going to be my IP address. Just I'm going to connect to this IP address. Authentication, I need to source my Linux. Open. It's going to be my new environment. It will be logging in as a EC2 user, as the default user. You can see I was logged in to the so we have logged into an Linux environment. So the first thing I want to do is I want to change the host name. Sysconfig, I'm going to this one, I'm going to network. The host name, it is showing as a localhost. I'm going to the host name, I'm going to call it as test AWS for Oracle.com. Test AWS, because I've already registered my domain name. So now I'm just going to reboot it. Okay, it will take some time. You can go back to your instance and check the status. It's going to initialize, and this is a public IP. Like once you stop and start the instances, your public IP will be changed most cases. There is a other alternate option that is called as a IP address. So you can allocate an elastic IP address, and you can associate to any of the EC2 instances, so that your public IP will not be changed. Though you can change your EC2 instance, and you can associate and deassociate. If I want to say like allocate a new address, IP addresses, this is there is an, if I can go for associate address, I can associate an address, select the instances through which I want to associate. I can associate these addresses. All elastic IP addresses reusage if already attached. Associate address requested. Now you go back to the EC2 instance, you can see my IP address has changed. So let me now connect with my new elastic IP address. But my new SIM, I need to use my same Linux keypad because nothing has changed. EC2 Wi-Fi user, I'm connecting to the user. So I'm able to do. Now I'm just checking my host name. Is my host name test.aws.oracle is there. So what else I will do? I want to, every time I don't want to use a PEM file to connect. So what I will do is like I'll go to etc cd ssh. You go to the ssh. If you go to ssh, there is a file called as ssdconfig. Search for a password. you see the password authentication is equal to no, it has mentioned. Just we are making it to S. Yes. So you given the password authentication is equal to yes. Let's take like a user add Muthu. So password for password. I'm giving my new password, and another one I'm going to change the password of my EC2 Wi-Fi user. Okay, so now I've changed to the password of my EC2 user, and I will give the SSHD. Before to check whether my internet is working or not, I'll do m install update minus yes. I'm just updating my repository m repository to check whether my internet is working or not. No package update available. Okay, so now this is done. Let me exit here. Let me come back to my console. Let me go to something called as a route 53. In a route 53 DNS services, if you have a domain name, if you don't have a domain name, you can easily register for a domain name. There are various domains are available. The rates are described here. Like if you go for a .college, it costs $69. The cheap one is like for $8 you can get a .jp, .help, .fund, .city, and .com you can get for a $12. There is a for com.uk, various things are there available. You can get it for a new domain names. Automatically Amazon will register you the domain name. So if I'm in my case, if I go for my registered, I have registered a AWS for oracle.com. This is my DNS name I have registered. So you can check my details and other stuffs here. So coming back to hosted zone, what I'm going to do is, when you in my hosted zones, I'm going to make a record set. What I'm going to do is, because I have given my host name as a test.aws.oracle.com, so I'm going to map to my IP address. If I go to my EC2 instance back, because I've registered an elastic IP, so this is going to be my create. I am creating whatever the traffic comes for test.aws.oracle.com. It needs to be routing to this IP address. So let's get check. We give some time for a DNS server to update. So this is our thing. So just to go for a test.aws for oracle.com. It's going to be new instance, but let me create something went wrong. Oracle.com. I got what was the wrong. We need to log in back with using our key. There was what was the wrong is, we should have restarted our SSHD service, which we missed it. So that is the issue. service httpd restart service SSD restart. Okay, SSD is restart because we have modified the SSD parameter. So now let me try to log into test.aws for Oracle. Oracle.com. Now you see I'm able to duplicate a session. Still my password is not working. Easy to you see easy to have a user is working. My password format. Yes, it works. So it says there are two failed login attempts to this one. So now coming back to, so now we know like how to like a host name. Just you give a host name, you open the port 22 so people can just log into the box, and if you want you can give the, you can control your sudo access from logging into root user, and you can control your sudo access. That you can do it with a etc. If you check for a sudos, you can make a changes here. Sudo account. You can search for a group. For a sudo, and search for a root. Yes, allow root to run any commands anywhere. You want to make an entry here. Okay, so now my instance is ready. My instance is ready. Okay, now let me tell you like how now our Linux environment is ready. Let me go to volumes. In EC2 there is something called as a volumes. I want to mount a volume. Like now my instance is running, but I want to make sure that always my software installations or everything should go into /u00. For example, if you want to install an Oracle databases, you'll be installing with a mount class to /u001, and like if this instance is down also you can mount the volume to the other you can easily provision one more EC2 instance and you can mount your volume to there instead of redoing all the softwares and everything. And you can with the volumes you can clone the volumes and you can attach to the 2-3 instances. This is the default 8 GB volumes. This is a root volume which we can't do anything with. Now we are going to create a new volume. general purpose GB2 minimum size is a 1 GB. I'll go for this with 1 GB because it's going to cost me a money. It's going to be availability zone. You can change the volume from one available to other zone. I'm just giving it the default one. Select a snapshot ID. No, I'm not going to select any of my snapshot IDs here. Create a volume. Oh, I've created it twice. Oh my god, I'm going to delete one of my volume because it's going to be cost me for the 1 hour. Amazon is not a second specific, it is a hour specific. It means if I invoke any services at least for 1 hour, the charges will be taken. For example, if I have used for just a 15 minutes and I terminate my instance, still I'll be charged for 1 hour. That's the worst part of Amazon. So just go for Amazon, just attach a volume where you are going to attach instances ID. We have created our license environment in the southeast B, and we should have created this one. Oh my god, it's deleted. Does not exist. Oh, why the world website does not exist? It shows. I never worked on a Singapore region. This is the first time I'm working on a Singapore region. This is GSP 1 GB. Applicable available zone should be like create volume. My volume is created here, no volume found. Seriously, why it is? It's taking a bit slow here. Action, I'm going to attach this volume to the running instance. It's going to be SDF attach. If you come, if you duplicate this session is inactive because sometimes it is root plus you can see a 1 GB of RAM. This XVTF is attached to us. You can see file minus yes dev of XVTF. This is going to be your data. So make file system minus T. Now you need to format your disk. I'm going to use extension 3 and I need to specify my device rating. Okay, my volume is formatted. If you have any data in your volume, you should not run this make file system. That will be literally, it is like your hard disk. You are just a formatting. You just formatted my hard disk. The next point will be like to create and we have the volume is attached to our Linux environment. Now we need to mount it. So for a mounting, like the thing is like you need to go to cd/ create a directory. So I create a directory as a u01. Okay, then just a simple like you can do, you can simply mount /u01 and the device name should be detected. u01, yes, it is mounted. You can see now 1 GB of RAM. It is mounted to your environment. So you can create a software and everything, and you need to make an entry in your etc tab like so that the next time if you are going to make any changes of your restart your instances, still the mount should be, the volume should be attached to it. Let's say like this is my thing. Just I'm going to call this as a u01 mount my u01, and if I drag up, this is my device name and the mount. The first thing is it's going to be my u01 and my type is ext3 smart 5 and it's going to be default no fail. Going with a 0 and 0. So technically if I reboot my machine, so let me log into my test.aws for oracle.com. It's rebooting, it will take some time. AWS for oracle.com. You can see it is done. Restart the session. Instead of a user. Okay, now I'm in root. The what are the things is we have done is we have changed the host name for a quick recall, like and then we have modified our SSD so that with the username we can connect instead of every time connecting with a password file, and we have provisioned the volume and we have mounted the volume. T. Got the error. What was the error for this thing is why of our mount was not there as the first tab. It happens sometimes with people, like it's not a default, it's a default. It's a default. I know it is a simple error, but still. Let me restart the session. Anyways, my mission is up. Take us timeout. Let me give it back one more try. It's taking timeout. Okay, the instances come up. Just restart the session. Easy to arrive for the user. Easy to arrive for the user. Hopefully now our volume should be there. Yes, it is there. After the restart also, bound volume is there. So now we have, just to quickly summarize, we have created a VPC. We have created a new Amazon account. We have created a VPC. Yes, and we have provisioned an internet gateway, and we have created two subnets. One is a public subnet and another one is a private subnet, and we have created one a routing table. We made the entry, we have attached the internet gateway to the routing table so that host will have internet access, and then we have associated the our public subnet to the public route table. And we didn't modify anything with our network ACL or with the security groups. We went with the default value. Then we provisioned an EC2 instance, and then we changed the host name. After the host name changes, we have made it like as a EC2 instance, Linux EC2 instance with the Amazon Web Services are always like a public key protected. We changed the key protected to password protected, and then we have went to the route 53. We made a DNS in a hosted zone. In a hosted zone, we have created a record set, and after that we are able to connect from open world to this Linux instance, and we have created a volume, and we have mounted the volume to the Linux environment. So like now we can see it works like a normal Linux box. And one more thing we have done is like we have created a elastic IP address, and we associated it this one. What is the advantage of elastic IP addresses? This is the instance you don't want to use anymore. Just go to action,